Cristiano Ronaldo plays it. So does Lionel Messi. Neymar has built a couple of courts in his own garden in Brazil. Even Jurgen Klopp loves it, so much that he had a court installed at Liverpool's training ground. So, what is paddle? The game that's fast becoming footballers' second sport. Bright himself as a paddle addict, and the court he had installed won't go to waste because Slot is also a huge fan. In fact, one of Slot's rewards for winning the Eredivisie title with Feyenoord in 2023 was the installation of a paddle court at the club's Rotterdam training pitch. So that describes how broad the sport's appeal is becoming. But what is it exactly? Well, its roots are Hispanic. It was invented in 1969 by Enrique Corcuera, a Mexican businessman who didn't have enough space at his holiday home in Acapulco to build a tennis court. So he improvised. Corcuera built a space that was 25% smaller than a tennis court and incorporated the walls too. Paddle uses the same net as in tennis and very similar court markings, and the ball's only allowed to bounce once at most before being returned across the net too. But because it's played within a closed space, usually made of a glass and metallic mesh, the ball can also bounce off any vertical surface during the rallies, just like in squash. The game's popularity and how it relates to football is an interesting story. The sport boomed in Southern Europe, initially profiting during the pandemic period. Football and basketball were banned, and gyms and swimming pools shut down. But in Spain, Italy, and Portugal, paddle was judged to be non-contact, and courts largely remained open. In Italy alone, the number of paddle courts in the country has increased 500% since 2020, up to almost 5,000. But the one country that doesn't yet seem to have fallen for paddle, which is widely described as the world's fastest growing sport, is the United States. In Britain, by contrast, paddle is booming. Underused tennis courts are being replaced with paddle, and some five-a-side football pitches have also been repurposed. 5 years from now, it's predicted that more than 1 million Britons could be playing paddle. And thousands of footballers worldwide have already been sucked in. At Liverpool, Klopp and Pep Lijnders, his assistant coach, were a regular doubles pair. There's even online footage of them taking on Thiago Alcantara and Virgil van Dijk. Mohamed Salah plays too, and Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar have all featured footage of themselves playing on their social media accounts. Carl Robinson, previously head coach of Oxford United and another paddle addict, says that the attraction for footballers is at a very basic level. Given that footballers tend to have to take on lots of information from coaches these days, the fact that paddle is less tactical and more instinctive helps them relax. It's a great way to do exercise and not get injured, he says. While it helps burn off any excess energy and keeps your mind sharp, it doesn't have an enormous physical impact. The ball is always in play, but you barely have to run across the court. It also allows you to be creative, and this brings unpredictability. Most of all, though, it's really, really competitive. And footballers love competition. And football executives like competition as well. Nasser El Khelaifi, the Paris Saint-Germain president and a former tennis professional, plays paddle to relax. The European Club Association meeting in Budapest in March 2024 coincided with Ramadan, and at 2 a.m. he was sighted on a paddle court with Hungarian locals. Then, at the Youth Sports Games in Croatia in April, El Khelaifi competed against a delegation from UEFA, including Zvonimir Boban, the former AC Milan midfielder. The one-time Manchester United defender Nemanja Vidic, an ambassador for the game, was also involved. So, unsurprisingly, where there is a growing sport, there is also investment, and plenty of that is coming from inside football. Qatar hosted the World Padel Championship in 2022, and it was during that competition that some professionals approached El Khelaifi about their frustrations. A source with an understanding of those conversations, who would prefer to remain anonymous to protect his working relationships, suggests El Khelaifi was told that aside from performing at substandard venues since launching as a world professional tour in 2013, players were underpaid and often made losses because of travel commitments and coaching expenses. Qatar held the Football World Cup, and a month later, El Khelaifi organized a Legends meeting at the Waldorf Hotel in Lusail. Competitors included former professional footballers such as the Brazilians Ronaldo and Kaká, the Spanish goalkeeper Iker Casillas, and ex-England captain John Terry. The tournament climaxed with French World Cup winner Vincent Candela and partner Khalid Seldoun beating Italian World Cup winner Marco Materazzi and Mohamed Abdullah. El Khelaifi sensed a big opportunity, and in August it was announced that from next year, QSI will run the professional circuit. He described the decision as historic for the fastest growing sport in the world. And further down the food chain too, other high-profile investors have been attracted, with Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk joining former Wimbledon tennis champion Andy Murray in putting money into a company called Game4 Padel. The attraction of big money, especially QSI, has pleased British men's number one Christian Mendina Murphy. He says that suddenly everything has become better for the players. It's made it easier to live as a professional, he told The Athletic. When he travels, he no longer has to think about booking hotels or paying for meals out of his own pocket. Murphy also believes that footballers are helping massively with the promotion of the sport. Given how many of them seem to be taking to it, that support should be available for some time yet.